Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of the Stanley Parable, which I keep confusing the name with the Stanley Principle, which is not actually its name, and I confuse it with that. It's because I did a series called the Talos Principle, and because I'm not very smart. More evidence to the fact that I'm not very smart. Last episode I could not figure out how to get the console to load. I still haven't, so I'll have to leave that for you anybody else to figure out. Um, that'll be a little secret mini ending for you if you can figure out how to get the console to load. There's several things. The SV underscore cheats one for sure, and then typing in bark I saw will probably do something too. But I'm gonna leave that. We are almost done with this series. We've seen about as almost all the endings that we're gonna see. We're gonna skip the art ending where you have to play the baby game for 4 hours. Um, and also, this series has been wildly different in length. Last episode was barely 10 minutes. I have to kind of apologize for that, but I mean, what do we know? And that was the confusion ending, and we were certainly confused that episode. Anywho, let's start this episode. As always, I ask that you subscribe and turn off any ad blockers or whitelist me. Help me make a career. Let's get into it. I've reset the game trying to find the console, so yes, yet again, we're at the beginning. I think we might
All of his co-workers were
spend
gone. What could it mean?
some effort.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, no, I guess I'm not gonna do anything, really. I can't. The only thing I could do would be spend the effort to turn off the, spend the effort to go through all the endings again, and that would be too much work. I'm still looking for the awaiting input stuff.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We always enter the door on the left. Actually, this time I want to enter the door on the right again, and then go through the maintenance and see where that lands us when we get back on track.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth it, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I think there's a bit of meta commentary on how this is not really enough occurrences and environments to be replaying it.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I'm just running through them, not really interested in listening to what the announcer says. Okay, so this is the door. There, this door is locked. I want to go down to the mind control facility again. Can I? Or did I go the wrong direction? No, I'm going the right direction.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So we've reset. The broom closet is no longer boarded again.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So we've reset. The executive bathroom is locked again. Let's see if there is an awaiting input. I'm getting stuck on the lamp. No awaiting input on the secretary's desk. This crazy elevator thing is locked. Alright, so
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
So putting in the code here is actually making it longer than if I just listened to him talk.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Apparently couldn't have fallen down there. Down we go again, to the left. Definitely a video game trope you don't want is that if somebody is playing fast, you're going to turn around and punish them and make them wait even longer. That hurts any chance of anybody deciding they want to speedrun your game.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
So yeah, I'm practically running through
Stanley
this
walked
game.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Not really seeing any dialogue as to why.
The
this
lights
is a
rose on an
mind control
enormous
facility.
room packed with television
what they're
screens.
actually trying to
What
accomplish.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature
Just a
revealed.
completely silly
Each bore the
room.
number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
that's mine
And
right
Stanley,
there.
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Although I have worked jobs where I start
This
to question
mind control facility, it was too horrible
if
to
they're
believe it
just
couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's
screwing with
control
me.
all this time? Was this the
Because-
only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Notice how they're also stopping us from like jumping off edges. But the thought has occurred to me in some jobs. Are they just screwing with me? Are they just wasting everybody's time? And in a lot of ways, that actually is the truth of it. In some jobs, it's just everybody thinks their job is a little silly, and they just want that paycheck and need that paycheck, so nobody speaks up. Alright, here we go.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Alright, so I missed a mini ending down there. If we had hit the lights button again, we would have gotten a secret disco mini ending. I'm not gonna bother to run through the whole path again. So there's another ending, another reason for you to play this game and get it for yourself.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
If you had a mind control facility and you could make people happy, why not just make them happy? All that makes a lot of sense. What's this big red button do? Nothing. Interesting. Even if you have nefarious desires, even if you want to do something evil, why would you ever want to do anything but make people happy? It works to your benefit in almost every single plan, unless you're just very, very sadistic and very much want to make people unhappy, and that's your plan, which is kind of a silly plan. Right, so power facility. Last time we turned it off. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. Let's us become the people in charge. We'll make everybody happy. We'll make them so happy they'll give us all their ice cream and candy.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Notice we have the dot back so we can make sure we're going to click the right one.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going,
like that's working.
what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Charging.
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
Where's the big red
My
button?
goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Enter passcode.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
0521.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
There's no zero.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge,
like
it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Well, it seems like I would believe him that none of those buttons would do anything. So the narrator will not allow us to take control of the game, which is a great meta commentary on video games. The creator, the story developer, is certainly not going to ever allow us to have full control, because then we could just change everything beyond the programming of the system and the game. So instead, they'd rather destroy it. I don't think they'd rather destroy it. I just think if we had full control of the game, it would get destroyed as we wandered further and further from the original intent. Hmm. Yep, and that's that ending. We're wrapping up endings here. We only have a couple more, and so I'll call this the ending of this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to. Remember, these are great. This is a great series to leave those comments about your commentary on video games. It's a video game that's commenting on video games. So, this would be a great point to put in your 2 cents. Watch every second of my videos, regardless of how random the lengths are. That helps me with YouTube. I have fan support, fan funding enabled. Click on my name, Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Any amount you donate will be greatly appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter and Google Plus and Steam and Bell.net. All that information is down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.